We are, of course, going to be tracking very, very closely here on Times Now. But let's move on in the bulletin now. And this is another story, a shocking video which has emerged. In fact, PFI rally in Kerala, which has paraded chained people who are dressed in RSS uniform. In fact, this rally was organized in Malappuram district of Kerala. And the video shows this procession that you can see on your screens passing the main commercial center of the town. The video also shows people who've been dressed as British officers chained and tied up with ropes. The insightful video is being slammed by the BJP. They've called it an open display of hate and bigotry. So we have Mohammad Wajiullah who's joining us, as well as Shehzad Poonawala, a Times Now contributor. Waji, if I can come to you, the kind of defense which is coming in from the PFI, however, at the end of it, let's not forget, these visuals are on our screens. Any kind of targeted protest against one specific body or organization is likely to draw the ire of the legal system as well.
Well, yes, this video of the PFI is in bad taste, coming out and showing people being chained, be it RSS or the Britishers, and coming out and giving out a statement like this is something that has to be condemned. But if we ask the PFI regarding this, they would go on to justify their act, and they would say that this has been done because they believe that it is the RSS that is responsible for everything wrong that is happening in the country. While on the other hand, we've seen how the governments of Haryana and Uttar Pradesh have continuously blamed PFI or alleged that PFI is responsible for the narratives that have been changed in the past few days. So this is what is happening between the PFI and RSS. And now if we talk about this particular video is of Malappuram, and we spoke to Anis Ahmed, the General Secretary of PFI yesterday, and he justified this, saying that it was during the Britishers when the Malabar region stood against the Britishers, and they changed the Britishers. And if it has to do this at a time like this, where the RSS, according to them, is the reason why things are going haywire in the country, then they will do the same if it's required. So the PFI doesn't shy away in attacking the RSS. Every now and then we've seen the PFI coming out and raising slogans or doing programs against them, be it this event in Malabar or the one that took place in Mangalore, Ullal, which is now become very controversial. We've also heard the speech of Anis Ahmed, the General Secretary, where he's openly spoken against RSS. So this is a war that the PFI has been fighting against RSS every now and again, but the video is clearly in a very distasteful manner. This has to be condemned by almost everybody.
Especially, let's not forget the kind of history of blood that we have seen, specific targeted hits on RSS leaders also. In many of them, they've alleged there is a PFI hand to it. So is this video, is this march not insightful is the question. We put this question to PFI's General Secretary, Anis Ahmed, as Waji was referring to. In fact, he's defended this hate parade. Listen in.
The video that is going viral is actually belongs to a depiction done by the people of Malabar during the program of Popular Front of India. So as you know, the people of Malabar respect their heritage, and this particular drama, it represents the fight that happened between the Britishes and the people of Malabar in 1921. So every year we see the people of Malabar celebrating it, and the idea they were depicting in this particular video was that the people of Malabar took a very important role in fighting against the external threat of British imperialism in 1921. And now when the RSS is posing an internal threat of fascism, the people of Malabar will also confront them and protect our country. That was the depiction.
So let me go across to Shehzad. Very interestingly, so PFI is trying to defend all of this, saying that these are also external forces, essentially calling RSS an external force and defending it, saying that they were right in holding a hate parade such as this.
Meghna, this is not protest, this is provocation on the streets of Kerala. This is anarchy in the name of Andolan, and it is sad that Kerala government, the left government, which once upon a time had said that the PFI is nothing but an avatar of Simi, which has done multiple cases on PFI's links with terrorism, in the case of hand chopping of a professor and other riot cases, is today turning a blind eye. And now this sorry excuse being given by the PFI, for them a fact check is necessary. The Mopla riots or the Mopla genocide or the Malabar genocide to which Mr. Anis Ahmed is referring to in 1921, it claimed not only British lives but a large number of Hindus had been killed. About 10,000 Hindus had been killed, lakhs had been driven out. Now RSS was not around in 1921 when these riots took place, but the RSS today is a euphemism in fact for Hindus, and therefore this parade is one not just of hatred and bigotry but of Hindu phobia. And the interesting question is that where are the secularists of this country? Had there been a rally or a parade where say a Hindu organization chanting Jai Shri Ram had two Muslims captive, what would their reaction be? This is not about PFI versus RSS, but in fact it is the anti-Hindu mindset of the PFI which is getting an open run in the state of Pinarayi Vijayan.
So what really do those uniforms really depict? Is it an organization or entire religion? Well, that's of course something that the police ought to be perhaps looking into. Meanwhile, the BJP understandably has come out and it has condemned this, what they call the hate parade, saying that it is targeting hatred and creating a communal wedge in the society. Listen in.
This PFI is a anti-social, anti-national organization. See, and don't compare RSS with PFI. They are provocating the younger generation of these Muslims, and they are saying, if you, as the leader said, if you want to become, if you want to live in India, you have to be the slaves of Hindus. It has never become, so far it has never become like that. We have never treated them as slaves. But wherever they are majority, they are treating the Hindus as their rivals. But this PFI is creating a gap between Hindus and Muslims.
पूरी संस्था पे जो आतंकी संस्था है उस पे पूरी तरह जल्द ही प्रतिबंध लगना है, और अनीस अहमद जो महासचिव हैं, चाहे उसके अध्यक्ष हैं, जो लोग भी हैं, ये अपने मंसूबों में कभी सफल नहीं हो पाएंगे। ये चाहते हैं जिस प्रकार जिन्ना मानसिकता पे चल के जो इनका आदर्श अरशद मसूद, अजहर मसूद आतंकी है, इनका आदर्श दाऊद इब्राहिम जैसे लोग हैं, तो ये लोगों के जो आदर्श मान के चल रहे हैं, ये उनका अंजाम वही होगा, इन सब का भी जो उनका अंजाम होगा। तो निश्चित रूप से जल्द सलाखों के अंदर जाने वाले हैं, और देश विरोधी जो कार्य कर रहे हैं, जो हिंदू विरोधी, सनातन विरोधी कार्य कर रहे हैं, उसका परिणाम तो इनको भुगतना ही होगा। इनके जितने भी कार्यकर्ता, जितने भी पदाधिकारी, हथकड़ियाँ लगेगी, अंदर जाएंगे और इन सबको ऐसे अंदर जाएंगे कि कभी बाहर नहीं निकल पाएंगे।
Well, in fact, let me go across to Shehzad. Shehzad, as we were just discussing, isn't it surprising that the left government has not yet taken any kind of action against this rally, despite the kind of ire that it is facing? Let's not forget, left government has been at the forefront of filing cases against this very PFI and calling for its ban.
Absolutely right, Meghna. The left government has been actually one that has documented cases after cases of the PFI trying to incite violence, trying to link itself up with terrorist activities, and also killing a large number of the left cadres in Kerala. The politics of blood being played in Kerala. But now as elections approach, Islamist hardliners are somebody you can do business with, and therefore look at the irony. This rally takes place at the height of COVID cases re-emerging in Kerala. Kerala is contributing one of the highest number of active cases. Not even a case on people not wearing masks while having such a gathering has been filed. So you can imagine that vote bank politics ke chalte, Kerala government and Kerala police is refusing to even take a look at what is happening on the streets of Malappuram.
Well, it's quite surprising, and we are going to go across to Wajiullah also. He's there with us. But before we go to him, Shehzad, if I can come back to you, what is rather surprising, it's not just the Kerala government, but also the so-called secularists. The fact that they are usually the first ones to come out and hold candlelight protests and raise their voices, if nothing else, create a Twitter storm. No Twitter storm also this time around. Absolutely.
What about the Hindu lives? Don't those Hindu lives matter? Now, if you put up the ambience to this video, the slogans that are being used are Islamist slogans, Narae Takbir, Allahu Akbar. If this was just about the RSS, why would these organizations chant an Islamic slogan in their rally? This means that the idea was to spread communal bigotry and Islamist supremacist ideology and thought process, and it is getting an open and free run, not just in Kerala, but even amongst those who call themselves the champions of secularism. I repeat my claim, if it would be a Hindu group chanting Jai Shri Ram and taking alongside with it two Muslims handcuffed, would the reaction be so muted? It wouldn't have been, and therefore it is ironical that this entire secular lobby has gone quiet or mute just because this is happening on the streets of Kerala.
Well, we are going to wait and see if there's any action which is taken against what the BJP is calling a hate parade, and do these people in uniform really depict a specific organization, or as Shehzad is suggesting, an entire religion. With that, we're going to be slipping into a short break here on Times Now. Don't go anywhere.